I always think it's a good thing to start off the new year right with bagpipes. But then, you get this little dance craze thing going on afterwards. Hey there, my name is Bill Marion. Welcome to our live stream. The music's a little loud. Good to see everybody. I love that little ditty. It's awesome. Hey, is everybody hear me okay? I know it is awesome. The backdrop is awesome. I made it myself. Well, kind of. I mean, I lifted it offline. Like a little snip here, a little letter there. I'm turning into the greatest plagiarist graphic designer there is. Yeah, you just snip and cut and snip and cut. Hey, how is everybody? We jumped up there to a few viewers and then they disappeared, but that's okay. They'll come back. But if not, it's me and you, babe. It's always good to see everybody here. It's always good to see everybody here when you do a spontaneous live stream. Hey, just curious though, whether it's Carolyn or whoever, how is this mic sounding tonight? What's going on? Is it sounding okay? Because I've got new headphones that I'm about to take off. It's a long story. That's all I'm taking off though, folks. I know you've signed in. But that's it. That's all I'm taking off of these headphones. But I want to make sure the microphone is working, okay? Is everything good? No, I'm watching the ads and trying to pay bills. Really, I love it. Sounds the same. Okay, good. Then I can take these off. Excellent. All right. Good to see everybody. Well, all of those who's come in already. I'm just kind of turning that background music off down just a little bit. Man, I'm telling you. Hey, you know what? This is one of those spontaneous live streams when you're sitting around and you're going, you know what? I had a great time during Vlogmas. Why not check in with the crowd after a few days of lots of food? Billy, you'll be proud. I made the best ham that I have ever made, probably best ever. And I went with the whole Coca-Cola ham because you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola ham. You just can't go wrong. I mean, it's truly divine. Fun was had by all. It was a great Christmas. The kids had a great time. The grandkids had a great time. I don't have great grandkids yet, but someday they'll have a great time as well. It was very good. It was very, very, very good. And of course, one of our favorite people made us some fudge, a variety pack of fudge, which is awesome. Big Frog is in the house. What's up, Big Frog? He's in the house. Billy's in the house. And I know there's got to be a couple more people in here. And Carolyn, of course, is here. Carolyn, my lovely wife. It's always good to see Carolyn. Today, we got the tree down and the Christmas decorations down in record time. And the reason why is because the tree finally got buried after, I think we added up 18 years of this tree. And then we went online and started pricing the different trees, like to replace what we had. And then I said, maybe we shouldn't have thrown that tree away so hastily. You know what I'm saying? Everything's expensive. Billy says, would I ever wrong you? No, sir. You have pointed me in the right direction. And I cooked it nice and slow. You'd be proud. Nice and slow. It was great. In fact, according to some websites, I may have pulled it out too early. Like I may have, they say it's got to be this and that, but it was the right temperature internally. And that is what matters. See, I'm turning into a chef. It was great. Got to have another large tree, babe. That's what Carolyn says. I did not want to part with our awesome tree. Yeah, it was a great tree. It's just you could tell it had lived its best day. Like maybe what is that called? The Anelgid, the woolly Anelgid that's killing all the trees in Great Smoky Mountains National Forest and over in North Carolina. The woolly Anelgid got a hold of our fake Christmas tree somehow and losing needles. It was just losing too many needles. I think we were throwing away about a pound of needles a year, Yeah. So happy New Year to all of you. I've been jamming to Auld Lang Syne. Yeah. And great song. It's about burying the hatchet. The people that made you mad this past year, you let them off the hook. You just say, you know what? You're off the hook. I'm not going to be mad at you anymore. You just kind of bury the hatchet. And so that's what we're doing. We're burying the hatchet tonight with anybody and everybody that's made you mad and hurt you over the past year. You just got to say, hey, man, love you, mean it. Peace out, and just be gone. Yes, Carolyn, it stayed full for so long. Such a great tree. Carolyn is mourning this Christmas tree, folks. You have no idea. She is sitting in ashes as we speak. She's wearing all black, and she's crying this New Year because I finally put my foot down and got permission to throw the tree away. Got permission to get rid of that thing. And it was hard because I think it took like 6 or 7 garbage bags because you can't just shove it into the trash can. I mean, you can, they just won't haul it off. You know, be like, sorry, we can't do that. Got to put it in a trash bag. Okay, it's going to the same place, but you know how it is. Billy says, just cruise around on trash day and pick up someone else's tree that looks better than yours. It's, well, you know what? I'm not above that. Listen, that tree was given to us by somebody who needed a bigger tree, which is hilarious to me. I'm like, why would you need a bigger tree than that? That thing's 9 foot, 9 feet tall. It's 5 feet wide. Yeah. I mean, think about that. That's a big tree. And we're trying to we were looking to buy one like by March or April, just to make sure that we're not waiting to the last minute. And you know, trees are expensive. Big Frog says, sounds like a plan. Billy, does sound like a plan. Dumpster diving, baby. Our youngest daughter, Crystal, she'd kill me if I told this probably. She got in trouble, I think it was her junior year of high school, that her and her friend went dumpster diving where there was people that had a makeup thing in the mall. They were throwing stuff out. And, you know, listen, it was her and a girlfriend. I think it was 3 of them. I can't remember. They got good stuff. I mean, yeah, she got in trouble, but they got good stuff. I'm just saying, you know, one man's treasure is another man's garbage, or one man's garbage is, I don't know how that saying goes. Sounds like a plan. It does sound like a plan. Listen, I don't know about you guys. Another reason why I got on here tonight is at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You know, for the past few years, Carol and I have gone to bed before midnight. We're falling asleep on the couch. Like, you're going to bed. Okay. And the ball hasn't even dropped yet. Like, you know, they've not even shown drunk people kissing on the news channel. Carolyn said she got in trouble with me, but not the law. No, she didn't get in trouble with the law at all. No, I don't think anybody would have said anything to her. I mean, it was a thing. People were doing it on YouTube, you know, showing videos. But I'm like, we don't do that. I will keep an eye out for trees for you to pick up, Mr. Bill. Thank you, Big Frog. Thank you, because you'll be in the area, right? You'll be in the area touring around the over there in Polk County. You know, there's got to be somebody throwing away a 9 or 10 foot tree. I like big trees. I like big trees, and I cannot lie. I'm just kidding. Yes, please, Big Frog. Must be 9 feet. The bottom portion has to be 5 feet. Well, 4.5, 5 feet wide at the least. I think I probably measured 4.5, but I was like, yeah, we're going to stretch this thing out just a little bit just in case. But what I was looking at online is most of them are like 9 feet tall, 4.5 feet wide, and everything's pre-lit now. When did that start where it's like people want a pre-lit tree? I can't imagine wanting a pre-lit tree because I like lots of lights, and I wouldn't want anybody to judge the amount of lights. And, you know, once they go out, I guess they're trying to get us to do that so that when the lights go out, you throw the tree away, right? Am I right? Yeah, that's what that is. Planned obsolescence, even with Christmas trees, people. Even with Christmas trees, planned obsolescence. So don't throw that tree away. I'm just saying. I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to go back to what I call the pre-Carolyn Christmas. When Carol and I got married, you know, we got this Christmas tree, and we've had it almost the entire time we've been married. Before Carolyn, I did the real tree thing. We got real trees every year. And I thought about going back to that, but there is the hassle of that. The good part about that is you never know what you got. It was like a different thing every year. But the bad part is it's kind of scary about house fires and stuff like that. You know, I can't have a tree that big, 9 foot ceiling. Yeah, that'll get you. That'll get you. We've been blessed to have 10 feet ceilings, 10-foot ceilings, most of the places that we lived, except in Virginia. And we had 9-foot ceilings there, but we sort of made it work. I think if you guys look back on those videos, I was always complaining about it. The reason why is we were having to take the top branches and like bend them down to like just get them barely through it was great. It was fun. It looked enormous. That house was nuts. Yeah, low ceilings, but we rigged the tree. This one here, it's the middle part's an A-frame. It's a ranch, but the middle part is it's kind of weird. Yeah, so Happy New Year. You know what? If I could say anything about 2025, it would be, I wouldn't call it a boring year. Like, I'm not talking about personal stuff, because personal stuff, everybody's got their good moments, their bad, and so on. Carol and I we always have good moments. We're going to find ways to have good moments. Carol and I that's just us. I mean, We will claw our way to having an enjoyable something. We'll just claw our way to do it. We work hard, and we'll make it happen. That's what you got to do in life, right? You got to fight, and you got to make things happen. But I'm talking about like just the vibe of 2025. It's very different than 2024, yet it was the same, and that's kind of what made it boring. Is that you have all these things that we don't typically talk about on our channel because we're not really political news channel thing. All right. That doesn't mean we don't keep up with it. I keep up with that stuff big time. Like for a while there, I was the news junkie all the time. I had to like break that habit. So I was being the news junkie this year, and it was like page 2 of 2024, right? I mean, it was essentially the same kind of year. Nothing's really changed. Like, right? You know, it was just kind of like, Billy says, if I could say anything about 2025, it's that it was better than 2020. Okay, there's always a plus. Like, it was better than 2020. But and I'm glad you brought that up. So, like, you've got 2020. We all know what 2020 was. That was a great TV show. No, we got 2020, right? But then it's 5 years later, and there's no such thing as coming back from 2020. Like we have forever changed. It's kind of like a September 11th kind of thing where afterwards it's like, yeah, you can pretend it's normal again, but it's really not. Like everybody feels it in the zeitgeist. It's like, yep, this is different now. And it's almost like that for anybody else. Can anybody else feeling that way? Billy, I'm so ready for 2025 to be over. Ready for 2026. I'm ready for it to be over. I'm ready for it to be over. That's for sure. Because again, it wasn't my PB personal best year. It wasn't Carolyn's personal best year. She had 2 surgeries this past year on her feet, and it's pretty all at the last quarter here too. So, you know, she's been cruising on the boot it has another week or something like that, a few days left to go. But looking forward to putting on some tennis shoes and actually walking normally for a while. So she's looking forward to that. But like again, on a personal level, I'm sure we all have our different, good and bad things to say about 2025. But just in the zeitgeist, just in the feel of everything, yeah, it's better than 2025. But it still doesn't feel like we've turned the page. It just still feels weird and icky out there. Lots of stuff going on in the news. You just go, okay, are we gonna, like every time you think something is going to happen to change up the narrative and shake it up a little bit, but it's boring. It's just 3. Oh yeah, I forgot about the gallbladder. My bad. Oh no, the boot. The boot is awful. The boot is awful. That is what we could say about 2025 too. It had a boot. It was walking with a boot. The boot. And so yeah, it's one of those years. And so that's what I would say about 2025 is that it was just a big yuck as far as not really being the wow year that I had hoped for it to be on an international scale. I really had hoped that the war in Ukraine would be over, and had hoped that maybe we could get back to trading at the same level we were trading at before 2020. And the more I look into it, I don't know that 2026 is going to be a whole lot different, but I'm sure hoping that it is, right? All we can do is pray and hope and believe that it's going to be better. Speaking of the news, does anyone know where I can find some good childcare? What age group there, Big Frog? Because over there at our church at Abba's house, we do have an academy there that can hook you right up. It's affordable, probably one of the least expensive on this part of the river. So yeah. So give me some age groups there, and Carolyn can hook you up with a link and all that good stuff to get you hooked right up. We can sign you up. And that's not even an ad. That's just free. That's just word of mouth advertising there. They say we have to say that in our videos. Like if we talk about a place, a business or whatever, we have to say not sponsored and all that stuff. And it's silly. Oh, and by the way, I'm not sponsored. I hate that stuff anyway. So yeah, we're trying to get back into video mode. We're talking about what we're going to be doing in this next year, and I'm looking at all kinds of stuff that we're wanting to do. I talked to you guys about that in the live stream a few days ago, before Christmas, just talking about things that we're looking at doing. I looked at the place, Billy, that you sent me, the what is it called, the crater thing. Now I've got to go back and find it somewhere here. Anyway, it was the crater thing out in Arkansas. That looked pretty cool. and it's not that far away either. I mean, it's probably an overnighter, but it's looked pretty fun. Speaking of the news, or let's see, still not sponsored by Cracker. Wow, you pulled that one from some older videos. That was a running gag for a while. You know, the whole Cracker Barrel thing. Still not sponsored. You know, no, I'm not sponsored, and I don't know if that. Well, I don't want to hurt myself either. I'm just saying, Cracker Barrel right now, post 2020, isn't what it was pre 2020. You follow what I'm saying? It's just not the same kind of. Things have changed, and all that stuff. So yeah, still not sponsored by Cracker, but I'm working hard to be sponsored by Cracker Barrel or something. You know, I keep meaning to reach out and try to get sponsorship for our big videos, not for live streaming, of course, but for our bigger videos. And I don't know. There's a mental block with me on doing that. I have no idea why. I need like. I don't know what I need. There needs to be an easier process because it's a little convoluted. You might find a diamond. You never know. You never know. You never know. Maybe Starbucks will sponsor you. Listen, Starbucks should. If the money we've spent at Cracker Barrel and Starbucks, they shouldn't just sponsor us. They should pay us a salary, and they would never, in our lifetime, never pay it back. There for a long while, Carolyn and I, as far as Cracker Barrel goes, every trip, I want to say our first 3 years of YouTubing, that's where we landed. And it was just used to the food. That was when I was first learning that I had the sugar problem, and probably the worst place to eat. You know what I'm supposed to eat? Let me tell you the truth about me and the diabetes thing. Here's what I'm supposed to eat. Nothing. Just period. Just starve. Because my sugar runs anywhere, like if I'm not taking my insulin and all that stuff, it runs between 300 and 500. It's one of those, and I get sick and all that stuff. Not to bore you with health stuff. I'm just saying, I feel best when I just don't eat at all. That's terrible. You just don't eat. Nothing. Maybe an egg in the morning, some toast, a piece of toast and egg. Like literally one egg, little cheese on it. Carolyn cooks for me every morning. And one egg, toast. That's it. And then I shouldn't eat again until about 4, really. More meat, some vegetables, no bread, and that's it. Like nothing. Jog every day. That is supposed to be, and you know what? It's like I can do that 3 months at a time. Then it'll happen. It'll be something crazy. Like I can handle one Coca-Cola. Listen, some people get addicted to alcohol. Some people get addicted to Coca-Cola Classic. Me, I'm the Coca-Cola Classic guy. Drink matcha in the morning first thing. Helps with insulin resistant. What is matcha? Matcha. I don't know what matcha is. What is matcha? Is matcha a brand of coffee at Starbucks? I didn't know. I've never heard of matcha. I will give it a try. I thought it was a new drink at Cracker Barrel. I'm not sponsored, by the way. It's green tea. I can't drink green tea, man. I get sick. I did not know that. I get dog sick on green tea, like throw up. Blah. It's because I'm an alien, man. I'm telling you. Bill, is that green tea the girls used to get at Dunkin' Donuts? I believe it is, and that's the one that I pulled over that one time. And I don't know if you remember. Like I've done that since I was a kid. If I drink green tea, it's funny though because if we go to the Chinese restaurant here, like we did at Christmas Eve, every Christmas Eve, I told you guys this. We go to Formosa's. And I'll order hot tea, hot tea is good. But I can't drink just regular straight up green tea. It's weird. It's weird, people. We're talking old people stuff. Definitely not going for ratings. We're talking old people stuff. I'm sorry, I started it. So now let's talk about the news, like old people do. Back in these young people, I tell you what, these young people, if we could turn them loose and get out of their way, they'll probably do a good job. I'm just saying. Some of them are so eager to get started and just get it done. They really are. But we got a lot of stuff in their way. A lot of young couples having a really hard time, definitely harder than Generation X did. Generation X, if you started life out right, maybe you went to school or trade school or learned a skill, whatever, and then like 5-6 years after high school, you could get in a house. You really could. In fact, the economy was such that you could get into 2 or 3 houses. That's what got us in trouble. But you could get a house, and these young people are working hard right now and can't get in a house, and that is kind of depressing for them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing if your lifestyle or whatever, you don't want to own a home, but these kids do. There is your problem. You jog. That is just you running from your problem. You see me running? Better come, because something is wrong. I love jogging. I absolutely love jogging. I love jogging. But it's the same cycle. You can ask Carolyn. It's a matter. I'll build up 4 to 6 months, and about that, especially about the end of the 6th month, when you don't feel like you're not even breathing hard for the first, let's say, 35 minutes. And, you know, the endorphins really start kicking. It's just the best thing ever. It's wonderful. If you're flexible, your legs, you got a history of it. If you don't have a history of running, I wouldn't just dive into it at, 50 and older, 45 and older. If you don't have like a history of knowing what's going on, what's normal and what isn't, what's being sore or what's blowing out your knee, that kind of thing. There is a solution to the housing shortage, but I won't get you shadow banned. Well, I never know anymore what, as far as the solutions are or whatever. I know the corporations own a lot of houses, and somehow or another that's wrong. I don't know. I don't know how to say it's wrong. I mean, we're capitalists, right? So corporations, I think the Supreme Court decided that corporations were people. I think that's when I started going, wait a minute, hold on a minute, hold on. It's one of them times in society right now where it's like you can't say anything because you have no idea what side you're going to end up falling on. You could end up falling on. You could come into agreement with something and not even realize it, but it's like that's literally Hitler. You don't even know you're saying that or whatever. It's crazy. There's this big divide, the Republican Party right now, that's hilarious. I'm going, guys, what are you doing? You just won. Like, come on. And they're not. They're fighting like cats and dogs. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's like cats. Meow, meow, meow. And they're picking. And I don't know. You got Candace Owen out there who's like Candace cracks me up. Beautiful woman. I'm not putting her down personally. I don't know Candace. I don't even keep up with Candace. I just see the little shorts that come through there, And she's like a tabloid person, man. She's like somebody like People Magazine. Why would you want to watch People Magazine or read People Magazine when you have Candace Owens? Because she comes up with crap. I'm not saying she's wrong or right. I don't know, but she just comes up with this outlandish stuff, and you're like, all right, Candace. All right. Even Alex Jones is going, I don't know about that, Candace. I don't know about that, Candace. I already told you guys I'm going to watch Alex Jones, though. Alex Jones is the most entertaining social media person out there. If you don't recognize the entertainment value with Alex Jones, you are missing out. You are truly missing out because he is just the bomb. I'm not trying to say I agree with his politics, his angle on anything, his angle on life, religion, whatever. I'm not saying I agree with anything. I'm just saying he is so entertaining. I mean, the whole turning the frogs gay years ago, which ended up what he was saying was actually true. I remember watching that in real time. I didn't just watch the sound bites later. All he was talking about was the chemicals. Somehow the chemicals make it to where the gametes don't do what they're supposed to do when frogs are born. So they end up being like female frogs, whatever. But he says they're turning the frogs gay. So there you go. Alex Jones is my age, but looks 30 years older than me. Yes, even when he lost weight, he just looked like a skinnier version of Alex Jones. Looks a little younger in the face. They say, Joe Rogan, I got this from Joe Rogan. My friend Joe. No, I'm kidding. I got this from Joe Rogan show podcast where he just talked about how big of an alcoholic Alex really was. I think he's off the bottle now, but that and he's a chain smoker. So between the two, he just, just real. He messed up. He messed up with the Sandy Hook thing. He messed up. Can't say there's certain things you just don't say. You just shouldn't say it. There was some things back then that was weird to me, but we know now you just don't say anything like this. Be careful, Alex. Be careful, Alex. Though, when Elon Musk bought Twitter, that's when it got funny. That's when everything changed. Elon Musk buying Twitter was the best thing that happened to social media. Social media was getting so bland. Not that I agree with some of these yahoos and some of the stuff that Fuentes guy, Nick. Am I saying his name? Nick Fuentes? That guy's bonkers, you know. I mean, that he's you just want to go, buddy, come on, man, come on, learn to get along a little bit here, keep it within the lanes. So I'm not saying that it's, but at least it highlights one end of a spectrum, and he's definitely on the spectrum, but it highlights one end of the spectrum, and you know, the I don't know, the extremes of a conversation, that an ongoing political conversation, that's kind of fun, you know, just going, okay, there's that. there's that guy. All right. Okay. What I would say about social media in general and young people in general right now is it's obvious that they've not taught history in school for the past 10 years. It's obvious that what we're producing in universities, as far as historians, as far as anything in the social sciences, we're not doing that great there. They're coming out not knowing how to substantiate what they believe, what they feel, what they see, not knowing how to go, okay, we've seen this in 1930, we saw this here, and they don't know how to, on either side. Big Frog says, I don't follow that Nick guy, but he just seems like an alligator just so he can watch the cat. I think that, yeah, and Candace too. Like, not as, I don't think she's as extreme as Nick. And I think Tucker Carlson is an opportunist? Yes, but they all are. You know what I'm saying? They all are opportunists. This is a hobby for me. I've told you guys that 100 times. There's things Carol and I could have done years ago. This is our 10th year YouTubing. 2016 to 2026. We're going to do a bunch of stuff this year, kind of talking about, the next year or whatever. Just having fun with the 10-year thing. Anyway, there were things we could have done early on to really blow this up when we started having just a little bit of success, but it's not what I do. It's what I have fun with and what I've enjoyed. I've told you guys that 1,000 times. With Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, they're just the ones coming to my mind right now. Those guys are just, they're saying what they want. They're saying whatever they got to say to get clicks. Tucker Carlson knows exactly what he's doing. He knows, don't be, I wouldn't be shocked at all with Tucker knows exactly what he's doing. He's a brilliant guy. And so when Tucker's having Fuentes on, when Tucker's entertaining this and that, he knows he's getting views, he's getting clicks. I subscribe to him and watch some of his stuff. Some of his stuff's just silly to me, though. There's some things that he says that I think are rage baiting or whatever, but whatever. Billy says, I don't get my news from Alex, Nick, or Joe. I get it from Bill Marion. If you're getting your news from me, then I need to do a better job. I need to do a better job. Oh, man. Big Frog says the BNN, the Bill News Network. You know what? I'll tell you what. If I went that direction with this, I think I would be miserable. I really do. And the reason why is because a part of what I do here, even live streaming and goofing off with you guys, is a diversion for me for life and whatever. So then suddenly you're taking reality and then you're making it this. I would feel like it's an invasion of privacy. This is about mountains and adventures and fun and stuff. It's not about, I don't know, tonight on BNN, Bill interviews Nick Fuentes. Really? Bill's going to talk to Candace Owen about Marco's blah, blah, blah. Y'all know, fill in the blanks there. But I'm totally serious, though. Like, that's what would happen. I think I would just lose it. Early in life, when I was in school, I went to Union College. That's where I started. I finished at Wesleyan, but I started at Union in Kentucky. And I was going to be my initial major was broadcasting and journalism. And I was going to be a broadcaster and do the voice. I'm Bill Marion. This is BNN News. That was going to be who I was. And then life just lifed. Life just lifed. Life just does the life thing. And I didn't finish going that route. And I look back and go, I'm thankful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still was trying to pretend I had hair occasionally back then. And when you enter that realm, you're not just entering a realm for, do you have the voice, or do you have the information, the knowledge, the ability? It's also about looks. Like, do you have the right look? And I have the right, like, I'm shaped like a pear. I mean, sometimes things are just natural and people just fit into certain things. And I just look back and I go, man, I'm kind of glad that didn't work out. I'm kind of glad I went a different direction. I would have had to have transferred from Union anyway to finish the broadcasting part because they didn't offer broadcasting at Union. Just a long story. Yeah. So yeah, Nick Fuentes. If you say his name loud enough, he appears. So we don't want to say his name too loud. I'm kidding. Tonight on BNN, we are going to show you some mountains, trees, and maybe Bear Scott. Maybe, wait a minute, trees and maybe some bear scale. maybe. That was good. But now you are broadcasting about Cracker Barrel sponsorships and eating elves and going to opera. Right. That's fun. The eating the elves thing, that is going to live forever now on this channel. It will live forever. It was hysterical, and just kind of the way it all rolled out, and it will continue to. It's not like it's over now. It will continue to for the rest of the time that the channel's on here, in comments and live streams to come. I am going to do this more. We've got a pretty decent setup now, and it's about to get a lot better as far as live streaming goes. And we just really feel good about where that's going because it's just easy. StreamYard, I am actually sponsored by them, kind of. I mean, I've got an affiliate link. StreamYard makes it extremely easy to live stream. And this is not a commercial, but it could be, I guess, for future, So to do this, it's literally you push a button, you set a timer or set the thing. It takes 5 seconds, man. And Toby Downs, Toby the Adventurer, he is back from his cruise, that devil. He had a little sun at church on Christmas Eve. Had some sun. He was all laid back. Brought me a Christmas gift, though. He's a great guy. Very sweet of him. But we talked about his cruise, had a great time. But Toby got me into StreamYard, and I'm glad he did, because for streaming, we were doing stuff right before we left Virginia, and when I first came down here, and I thought about it all year. I'm like, that is so easy. I don't know why we didn't just do that to begin with, but oh well. All that training paid off. You know what? Here's the thing. The training part in college was the journalism aspect, and it was really about we were still laying out paper. It was a hybrid. We had a Mac, with the little screens, and because I went to school in '92, my fall of '92 is when I went to Union, and so we were still laying out paper, and then we'd go to press, they would do roll. It was hilarious, and so now, of course, it's obsolete. But the journalism part, as far as the writing it was about mechanics and about humor, learning how to use your humor. I'll give you an example. I did an editorial on the cockroaches that lived in B-Wing. It was just an editorial. It was like one of my first pieces as a freshman. Serious. And it was this humorous take on all the different nationalities of cockroaches in our dorm. And my editor at the time let it go to print. It got printed. But I got called to the dean's office because there was complaints by some of the faculty that they said it was racist. Okay, so that kind of training. We did an expose on the next year on the girls' softball team because their coach was terrible. And so we did that. I was the sports editor at the time, so of course it went to print. Got in trouble for that. Got yelled at for that. Anyway, there's my training of learning. Not to get to be careful, to be a little more careful. Yeah, but I got in trouble because you got German cockroaches and Japanese cockroaches. You've got all these different cockroaches competing there in the dorm. And it was funny. Looking back, I'd love to get a copy of the article and just reread it and see how racist it probably really was, especially for now. But at the time, I wasn't thinking it wasn't meant to be racy at all. It was about the cockroaches in the dorm. It wasn't about, you guys get it. I think you do. I don't know. So did the training pay off? Keep my mouth shut a little better. But because if I wanted to, I would probably go off a lot about where Carol and I interact in the national parks and stuff like that with the national park, stuff that we observe and see and know that's taking place. I could really talk about that. And it comes through in my videos. Sometimes I'll hint around about it. I'll put it to you this way, is most of the national parks you guys visit, all of us visit, you're only getting to see about 15% of it. Now, for most people, that's fine. But for people like me, that's aggravating. Big Gaz is in the house from way down under. It's already 2026 there. He is in the future. And the cockroach races in North Queensland are over. Man, that's really sad that the cockroach race is over because I had money on that race. Don't tell me who won. I'm looking forward to the replay. I'm looking forward to the replay because I understand they were unbelievable this year. Strong says, did you know that they made an elf on the shelf that is no, I did not. 5 feet tall. I didn't either. Scared the crap out of me when I walked into the school office that I'm working at. That would have terrified me. An elf on the shelf that's 5 feet tall? That's crazy. I'm going to tell you something. Rock City. Now, they're not called elves there. We need to talk about this because if we're going to eat elves, do gnomes count? Because that's what's on Rock City is gnomes. But they look like elves to me. And they look meatier. They look like they're, you know what I'm saying? Like elves are skinny and lanky. But gnomes, on the other hand, have some meat, but they look like they would taste bad. They look like they would smell bad. I'm just saying. The cane toad races are on this weekend. The cane toad races. I bet you could make some money off that. I bet there's money to be made if you know how to identify a good cane toad. I do not know how to identify a good cane toad, but still, it's always good to see Big Gaz in here. Always good to see Billy, and of course, Big Frog. Big Frog. Gnomes are construction. Is that how that works? Gnomes are construction elves. So you know they have a foul mouth and they smell bad. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. I'm not making that up. That's written down somewhere. But that's where you want to get your gnome, where your elfish gnome thing going on. I'm serious. That's where you want to get that going on is, you go to Lookout Mountain here in Chattanooga. Well, technically it's Georgia. And you go and get your gnome on. I thought about making another video. They don't make great videos. Like they just don't. I don't know why, but I guess maybe the market's saturated for people interested in gnomes on Lookout Mountain. I'm not sure. But there are if you've never been, it's a real, lots of cool rock formations. And then at the end there, you go into this huge elf. It's like a gnome city like thing. It's all under black light. I always get frustrated at when I go up there to Rock City because of what it could be. Not because of what it is, but because of what it could be. Big Gaz says gnomes are better. Gnomes on the range. Gnomes on the range. You know what? You got a good point there. Elves and gnomes are sort of Northern European kind of creatures or whatever. I don't know, though. In the Appalachian Mountains, you guys saw the video that I made. I think you did, the Legends on the Blue Ridge Parkway about the Moon-Eyed people. You guys hear that, right? Down in Georgia, all through North Carolina, about how the Cherokee would point to these ancient ruins. It's what they are. And say, we didn't build those because, the Spanish, all the way back to the Spanish conquistadors that were here exploring and later Europeans, they would ask him, they'd say, who built this? Did you guys, this isn't your style. Who built this? And they would say, the Moon-Eyed people, that they were there before the Cherokee. Isn't that strange? And the way they describe them, it's very elf-like. It's very, gnome or elf-like, that they were short, that they only came out at night, whiter, paler skin, and Moon had big moon eyes or big blue eyes. It's just kind of spooky. I don't know. But it was a tale that was told from Georgia all the way into Virginia with consistency in different tribes. So it was definitely, at the very least, it was definitely a part of their oral history or whatever. I don't know how much, I don't mean to disrespect any oral tradition whatsoever. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. I'm just saying the earth does not ride on the back of a turtle anymore. We know this. So we know that not all oral traditions are equal. So they probably made it up, but still, it's just kind of interesting to me. Besides, they disappeared, and the Cherokee say, we don't know where they went. They just kind of disappeared. And I'm like, the Cherokee probably ate them. Why? Because they're related, as Big Gaz said, they are related to elves and gnomes. Surely, the Moon-Eyed people have to be on our list of holiday delicacies. But they're extinct, so you can't get them anymore unless somebody has a private collection of Moon-Eyed people that haven't surfaced yet, which is possible. I'm hungry right now, actually, come to think of it. We ordered chicken wings tonight, New Year's chicken wings, blah, blah, blah. And we got them from the wing place. I can't remember the name of the place. I think it's just called Wings or something. I'm not sure. It's like a sports thing. You know, they got TVs everywhere. It's real loud and obnoxious. Num num. And I am losing my taste for chicken wings. I'm not sure why. I just thought, man, this it? Is this all there is to life right here today? And I wish I'd have gotten the iron pot out and just cooked all day. That'd have been great. That'd have been a lot better than having chicken wings, you know, piped in. Lemon pepper chicken wings, fried lemon pepper chicken wings with like, you know, it's like wet and the dry. It just wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't good. So I don't know. What are you guys eating for New Year? I mean, that's the question. Like back when I was a kid, for Southerners, you had to have ham hocks and black eyed peas. Like that was the thing. Anybody else? Ham hocks and black eyed peas. That's what you were supposed to eat on New Year's Day for good luck or something. I don't know. Ham hocks and black eyed peas, which sounds good right now. Even the black eyed peas, which, listen, I like their early stuff, but they got weird as things went on, right? I got a feeling. Woo-hoo. Black eyed peas, get it? Big Gas says we have four. We have four-legged chickens here. Excellent. Don't know what they taste like. We haven't caught one yet. They can run, man. They can run. And juke. They can juke. They can juke you out within 4 legs. They can go. They can go. And unlike horses, one leg is always on the ground. It's weird. It's strange. It's strange. You know, turkeys are surprisingly slow. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Cabbage and black-eyed peas. That sounds good. Oh, that sounds good right now. I'm feeling some soul food in my near future. Soul food. Walter Langston is in the house. What will be my last near of the year? My last near of the year. My last near of the year. I don't know. What will your last near of the year be? My last near of the year will be Carolyn. She's been my last near of the year for 18 years. 20 years actually total. I think we've been together every New Year's Eve. I don't know. There's not a single, because I just got out of the Army when we met. I spent a lot of holidays, New Year's, Christmas Day, Thanksgiving on active duty. Well, I always thought Walter says that he meant to say meal, his last meal of the year. Well, here's the thing. I was thinking like you were being like the last one near you. Yeah. Like who's your last near? Who's your last? I like that. I thought it was like a cult, West Virginia thing or something. I was going with it. We worked it out. It sounded good. We worked it out. But yeah, last near of the year. Carolyn's been my last near for 20 years. We didn't think a whole lot about dinner. Big Gas is married 45 years. Outstanding, Big Gas. That's awesome. Carolyn and I celebrated 20 this year. I just love her more now than I ever. I told her recently, I don't know that I even loved you when we first got married. Not in the real way, right? Am I right? You don't even know somebody when you first marry him. Like, it takes a minute. Live alone, just me and my cat. Well, you got a cat. That's good. That's your last near, see? And if you eat it, it's your last meal. Not that you would eat it or you should. I'm just saying that way we can cover both ends of that. I know that everybody's kind of starving because the elf is gone. I'm sure that you guys had your elf and your gnome or whatever it was. I didn't realize how many gnomes that we had access to, though, Big Frog, here in Chattanooga, because now that I'm realizing that that's Gnome City on Lookout Mountain, I might have to look into how good gnomes are and do a couple of practice gnome dishes across the summer to see what's up there. See if you can eat the gnomes like you can an elf. But if not, I've got a new place to get them. You got the Christmas shop there that runs an underground elf facility that you can, grab some there that I've been told, but also up in Frankenmuth, Michigan. Northern part of Michigan, everybody does the hand. It's like up here, this part up in here. It's like 3 hours from Detroit. You can probably get elves there too. My friend has written a book, 100 Ways to Work Your Cat. Well, thank you. I'll have to check. I'll have to check my reading list. Big Frog Barbecue says, are trolls in the same family of elves and gnomes? Trolls? Somebody's going to have to answer that. I do not have an answer for that question because I don't know that I would ever eat You just opened a door because you've got trolls, and then you've got like what's that thing at St. Patrick's Day, or you follow the rainbow and then you get a pot of gold. Is that a troll? What is that thing? I can't think of what that thing is either. Because a troll, I don't that would be bad food though, right? Or would it? Is there a hidden delicacy? Leprechauns. Thank you. So that's the question. Are leprechauns tasty? I don't know. They've got to be related. They've got to be related somehow, like leprechauns. And they're all related to cats. We know they are. Because cats are like, they'll talk. Cats talk when nobody's around. We know they do. But you got like leprechauns and trolls and elves and gnomes. They've all got to be in the same family. Trolls live under bridges. Much larger. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Uglier, and tougher. You need to soak them in vinegar for a week to soften them up. Okay. Leprechauns taste mini fresh. So it's got a mint taste. Okay, so it's like a wintergreen mint kind of thing going on. I was thinking you would soak them in buttermilk, but not so. It's vinegar. It's vinegar. Okay, all right. So you're trying to really break down the fibers there in the meat. I got you. I got to be honest. I've never had leprechaun. I've never had troll. I'm going to have to look into both of those things because I'm thinking that would be kind of treacherous, though. You follow the rainbow, you get to the leprechaun, you get a pot of gold. How do you get a hold of the? I mean, it's just complicated there at that point. I'm just saying, you got to come up with a plan on your way to the gold, right? I mean, you've got to come up with a plan on how to bag your leprechaun, because he's going to be kind of shocked. And how do you keep him from doing magic and stuff? And so you got to have like a bag, grab him, put your rope around the bag or something. I don't know. We got to look into that. Trolls live under bridges. Not good things don't happen under bridges. My aunt used to scare me in Nashville, close to Opryland. Actually, she lived literally like 6 minutes from Opryland. It was like down the road, the Opryland that doesn't exist anymore. But she lived like 6 or 7 minutes from there, my cousins and everything. And you had to go into these bridges there on Brawley Parkway, these bridges. And it was like early 80s, late 70s, and there were like people under there and stuff. And like, it was like, she would threaten us with that. I'm going to leave y'all under these bridges. She's kidding around, I think. But she was like kidding around, but it would terrify me, man, because they looked rough. Long hair and like braids, and yeah. Big Frog says, you got to go. Wait a minute, I skipped one. Big Gas says, leprechauns are rare since we went off the gold standard. Well, right. I mean, they are rare, and since we went off the gold standard. I'm telling you, not only that, but oh man, wish we were back on the gold standard. You got to get the rainbow before leprechauns so you can set to the trap. There's where it gets technical. That's where it gets hard. That's where the hunting aspect. I'm beginning to like this idea. I'm beginning to like this. I thought leprechauns tasted like mini marshmallows. No way. Mini marshmallows. Not mini marshmallows, but mini marshmallows. Uh-huh. Mini marshmallows. Interesting. I never thought of a leprechaun tasting like marshmallows, because that would remind me too much of a gremlin. So I'm getting, because on the movies, like never mind. It's a long story, but yeah. So leprechauns taste like mini marshmallow. That's fine. Gooey. So do you roast them then? Because the marshmallow kind of blooms up. Do you roast it or do you deep fry it? I mean, when we first started talking about elves, it was all about the frying aspect of it. They're magically delicious. What is he? He's a Lucky Charm. Is he supposed to be a leprechaun, the Lucky Charm guy? So he knows. So I get it now. It took me a minute. Mini marshmallows, leprechauns. I'm sorry. I'm slow. I got you. He's edible. You can fry him. Little tasty morsels. But it reminds me a lot of elves, though. He reminds me of a lot of an elf. He does. They're magically delicious. Oh, by the way, I'm not sponsored by Lucky Charms or General Foods or their subsidiaries. They're satisfied. Or Cracker Barrel, but I'm willing. Maybe. I don't know. Their new CEO has kind of aggravated me a little bit, so maybe I am. They're magically delicious. Bling. Is that the right thing? They're magically. I can't remember. I could go for a good bowl of Lucky Charms right now. Actually, I could. There's some more fudge in there that a dear friend of ours gave us. Best. It is divine fudge. It really is. But that's not really what I'm wanting. I've asked Opryland for a sponsorship. Haven't heard back from them. I think Gaylord Entertainment's probably not going to go for that. That would be hilarious. I think somebody said in the comments of one of those Opryland videos that there was an advertisement right before my video. It might have been you, Billy. I can't remember who it was. That there was an ad for something Gaylord Entertainment, maybe the hotel there or something. I don't remember. I thought that was hilarious. I got a comment on that video today that said something like, get ready to do a Six Flags video, because apparently Six Flags, and they didn't say which Six Flags. There's like 100 of them, and they didn't say which one. I know that there was one that might be going out of business in Texas. Anybody heard about that anywhere? That there's I don't know. I guess they're going to build a mall. That's a great idea. Fantastic idea. I'm convinced that if you build it, people will come. If you build it and have a standard, people. Walt Disney knew. He knew how to have a standard, people. Got to keep up with these things. Build big rides. Wow them. One of the things that Disney had a hard time with in recent years, past 25 years, they couldn't keep up with technology. They would build some technological marvel, and then the private sector, in other words, technology, Moore's Law kicked in, and technology was increasing faster than they could build big rides and wow people. I haven't been down there since 2016. Carol and I haven't been since then. It's been almost 10 years, babe. It's been almost 10 years. I miss it. We used to go every year with the kids and stuff. It was a thing. And it took a lot. They took a lot of our money. That should be a guaranteed sponsorship. But that was kind of before we were making videos. We have made a couple of Disney videos. We covered the Grand Floridian in one of them, and maybe something else. I can't remember. It's about, see, Gaylord Entertainment said we have no idea why we didn't sponsor Bill Marion. When Gaylord Entertainment was asked, why didn't you sponsor Bill Marion? They said, we have no idea why we didn't sponsor Bill Marion. There was no feasibility study done. Hilarious story. Hilarious story. There's my journalism training coming in. All the phone calls and going through. I had to pay for a subscription to an online magazine to get one of the articles. I was glad I did. That was one of the best articles that was written about the whole thing, and filled in some of the gaps that I had about it, though. I don't know. Those videos have been near and dear to my heart just because of these live streams. If honestly, I mean, like the Cumberland Gap one, if you guys haven't seen that, go watch that. It's cringe. And I made that in 2016 or 2017. 2017, maybe. I can't remember. I think 2017. It's like 9 years old now. And it's cringe. Like, seriously, it's not that great of a video at all. It's way too long, and I cover just about everything but the Cumberland Gap. And people just thrashed it. But it's got, I don't know how many 100,000 views now, but it's got like it's made me a lot of money. You know, I mean, but it's cringe. And I leaned into the conspiracy. You know, when I lived up there that's Union College is like right down the road from that. When I went to Union and that tunnel opened, that was also back in 1992, it was very controversial because a lot of people they knew they were losing access to the historic Cumberland Gap. You can hike there now, but everything that was there is gone as far as like settlements. It's gone. So it was controversial. There were threats and all this kind of stuff. I was trying to lean into that aspect of it, but yeah, I don't know, whatever. In the railway workshops, Big Gas says, many years ago, we had an English workmate named Gaylord. We called him Gav. Because you do, right? Because you can't call, I mean, Gav works. Gav works. Because what else are you going to do? You're kind of stuck. Big Frog says, there is probably an old Opryland Park map in my old bedroom from when I lived with my parents. That'd be awesome to get like an actual, have one, to hold, like to look at and look through or whatever. They have them online, but it's not the same. Billy says, I don't see any of the Six Flags closing in Texas. There's going to be a lot more of parks closing. Are you talking about because of the economic turnaround this next year? Billy, go. Tell us. Why do you think there's going to be a lot more parks closing? Because that's going to be interesting. My prediction economically, let's pretend for a minute I'm the political analyst, that guy, the different universe where I'm on here going, I'm Bill Marion. This is BNN News. That universe. Let's pretend we're in that universe for a minute. My economic forecast for this next year isn't great, unless Trump can delay an inevitability. There are ways he can delay inevitability. There are some things he can do, but we're in a mess right now that isn't his doing. It's not even Biden's doing. Some of it has nothing to do with either of them. A lot of it has nothing to do with politics in the past 10 years. It was the inevitability of things that happened decades ago, and they're just coming to fruition. The bill is due. Don't ever forget this, guys. At the end of World War II, we all got together with our allies that had been bombed to oblivion, and they were kind of out. And we said, rebuild your cities, rebuild everything. Here's some money to do that. We will patrol the oceans and protect you from the big red dog up north. And I'm referring to the Soviet Union. And so we were the ships, we provided the ships and the ammo for the world for the past, since 1949. And we can't sustain that any longer. So trade is breaking down. Also, we have a very big quasi-enemy across the Pacific they're building up a navy. So everybody's turning back inward now for a while. So you've heard Republicans and conservatives talk about free trade for a long time. Actually, the New World Order, everybody, free trade, free trade, free trade. That was the idea. But that's kind of gone the way of the dinosaurs now. And it's not just because of tariffs and all that stuff. That's a sideshow. It has a lot more to do with the fact that trade is not going to be as reliable as it has been. So anyway, that's just me pontificating for a minute. I have been to many parks, but the one I haven't been to and really want to visit is Holiday World. Is it worth it? Wait a minute, Holiday World. I do not know that one. Haven't been there, Billy says, but I hear it's a great park. Holiday World. I don't know where that's at. Somebody send me a link. I have no idea where Holiday World is at. I haven't been to Holiday World, obviously. I was impressed. I've told you this before. I was really impressed with Hershey Park. Indiana, okay. I thought that was called Santa's Land. Or is that the one in North Carolina? Okay, because that's the one I'm interested in going to. Is it the Santa-based, Christmas theme park there? If that's the one I've looked at. See my above comment. Thank you. Oh, okay. Six Flags merged with Cedar Fair, and they have just too many parks. Okay, let me ask you this. Is Cedar Fair a part of Cedar Point, like Cedar Point, Ohio, that theme park up there? Santa Claus, Indiana. Carolyn, we need to look into that. I'd also like to go back to Hershey Park in the summer instead of when it's 35 below like it was in Carolyn. But there's a type of cold in Pennsylvania that I have never been before. It was, you've heard of bone-chilling cold? I don't know any other. Bone-chilling is right. I was cold to my at the atomic level. That's all I know. Cedar Fair owns Cedar Point. Ah, okay, cool. Cedar Fair owns Cedar Point. Cedar Point was a good theme park. I mean, for Ohio, right? I don't mean that bad towards Ohio. Listen, you got Kings Island in Ohio, which is awesome. And it's the sister park to Kings Dominion in Virginia. And honestly, Kings Island is a little better. They had a Hanna-Barbera. I don't know if they still do, but at the time they had a Hanna-Barbera connection. Like Six Flags, a lot of Six Flags have a Warner Brothers connection or whatever. So the Hanna-Barbera connection back when I was a kid and when it was still relevant and cool. You had Quick Draw Madraw out there and Fred and Wilma, and I mean just any character, Scooby, lots of Scooby stuff. And so it was a lot of fun. I am back. Was it lost the feed for a bit? Sorry about that. Is it the connection? Everybody else getting the connection okay? I hope so. But yeah, I mean, it's theme parks. They ride the wave of consumerism, right? And Disney succeeds because they partner now with the darkest lords of the universe, right? I mean, they do. And what they've done over the past 10 years is really outpriced most of America. But here's what's funny. Most of America will still sell 2 of their children to get 3 of their children there. It's like, you know how immigrants come to America for a chance and they'll like give up whatever they had to give up to get to America. People are like that going to Disney here. It's like, if I have to give up eating, if I have to only eat 1 meal every 3 days to go take my kids to Disney, I will. And they'll go. And it's about, if you stay at a decent place where like places Caroline used to stay when, you know, I mean, it was a big deal for us. It's about $1,000 a day per person to really have that big experience you guys see on YouTube and stuff. About $1,000 a day. You can do it cheaper. And you can do it a lot cheaper. You can do it for a quarter of that. But I'm talking about to stay at one of their main hotels, dining plan, the whole 9 yards. You're looking at about $1,000 a day per person. So if you got a family of 5, you heard what I just said correctly. It reduces the longer you stay. But what I'm predicting, you talked about how these theme parks were, what Disney will do is they'll just flex a little bit, and all they have to do is adjust their prices, run deals, and weather the storm for 3 or 4 years, and just stay afloat, cut their profit margins a little bit. That's how ahead of the game they are and all that. What do they say? Every big hit for Disney, if they have one big hit at the box office a year, their parks are full for the next 3. The connection is just hysterical there. So they kind of cheat, you know, they kind of cheat. It's hard for like a smaller theme park to really get in the game. You would have to have several billionaires get together and just say, we're going to take, which is, I guess that's what I heard happened with Universal. Universal just said, we are dropping the gauntlet. We're going to Orlando, and we are going to compete with the mouse. What was it, 30 years ago or whenever? And they've done a pretty good job competing with the mouse. I don't think they've helped Disney's business, though. That's the whole thing, is that Disney's like, come on, we've got room. Because you're not going to go to Orlando and go to Universal Studios or Paradise Island, whatever that's called, and not go see the mouse for a day, at least. So even if you're more Universal than you are Disney, you're still going to go to the park. You're still going to go. We ran into all kinds of people. No, we're staying at Universal, but we're going to go to, of course, we're here. Six Flags is now the company. Six Flags is now the company in namesake that own all Six Flags in Cedar Fair. Cedar Fair bought out Six Flags, but they used the Six Flags name because they thought it more recognized. I never understood the Six Flags anyway. Like, why is it called Six Flags? I should have a video about that. Why is it called? Maybe I have said that in a video. Why is it called Six Flags to begin with? Is it like the southern states? I always associate Six Flags theme parks with the southern states. You know, Georgia, Texas. That's where it stops, actually. So Georgia, Texas. So maybe not. Maybe I'm way off there. But Georgia and Texas for sure. When I think of Six Flags, I definitely think of Atlanta, Georgia. They have the best. If you ever want something to do the day after Christmas, because maybe you get the blues or something, Carolyn and I, for a couple years straight, went to Six Flags the day after Christmas. And they have like a little meal plan you can get to. And like, you got cocoa out there. But it is a full-blown Christmassy. And it's not that crowded. When we went, it was discounted a little bit, like after the day after Christmas. And you had the rides to yourself. The lines were nothing. And we rode Batman and Superman and all that stuff. It was a great time. Which I have to watch it now. My sugar escalates. I get sick on those rides. Isn't it awful? I get sick on those rides. It's awful. We went to Busch Gardens. Another video that I got ripped in the comments. Oh, Lord, Bill. Billy says, you need to do a deep dive into why Six Flags is Six Flags. You're right. And I don't necessarily have to be there to make that video. There's a lot. I can, that's a good video. You're right. You're all right. Very good. Thank you for the suggestion. I will mention you. That's something I'll get onto. That's probably a late January video. I'm not kidding you. That's an easy video to do. Thank you so much. Texas was first. Didn't know that either. But I'm not driving to Texas for a Six Flag. That's a long drive. That's a forever away drive for me. That's like, yeah, I probably would. I would. Yeah, I would. Big Frog Barbecue says, Mindbender is the best ride at Six Flags over Georgia. Yeah, it's a good one. Mindbender's a good one. You have some older footage of Six Flags when we went to the one in Atlanta. I do. So I have some footage, and it's getting footage from theme parks to put on videos isn't hard. That's a phone call away. The Riddles teaming is terrible. I liked the Superman ride a lot. I think it was Carolyn's favorite ride, if I'm not mistaken. That was pretty cool. That one, the Goliath, is that what it's called? The Goliath there in Georgia? That was pretty awesome. The Riddler theming. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I think they were doing a 1950s television show thing there. I'm not sure. Texas is a long way, but you could fly out there. Yeah, you can't. You can fly out there. It's just by the time, do I really want to fly out for a theme park? That's the question. You know what I'm saying? If I want to fly somewhere, I want to see something amazing. And theme parks are amazing. I'm not putting theme parks down. But like, if I'm going to jump on a plane, I want to go to Arizona, you know, that kind of thing. Bro, we dropped a 35-foot fifth wheel to Tennessee. So no, it's not that far from you. You are right. I'm getting old, man. I'm just getting old, you know. And that, how far is it from here, from where you live in Louisiana to Pigeon Forge, you know, PF, GB, all that? How far are you away? Because that is a good drive. And you need to tell me next time you come up here, man, because well, you did last time, but I couldn't get away. The Batman ride shut down after people realized they were robbing them. I'll let myself out. I'll let myself out here. Thank you. No, it's their rides are great though. 10-1. Listen, Six Flags, Cedar Point, Kings Island, Busch Gardens to an extent too. They have better rides than Disney. Don't let anybody fool you. It's that Disney does a great job with what they call dark rides. You know, they're a storybook. You're going, and that's pretty cool too. It's like 10 hours. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And you're right, 10 hours. That's, you drive 10 hours. No, because Carolyn does like 90% of our driving on the interstate. When we go to the mountains, I do all the driving, but when we're on the interstate, Carolyn does all the driving. I usually am doing this, YouTube, cutting video, getting footage, whatever. I'll let myself out. Yeah. Well, guys, Happy New Year. And I mean that. And I've had a great time with you. I love that we could do this and jump back on here and just talk for a minute. Going to try to do this more and more this next coming year. I hope you guys will join that adventure. And we'll see how it works. I'm supposed to contact a marketing person for this channel. I know. For me, that's hilarious. We met her in Destin, and we're talking to her. We're going to see what our best moves are here in the next few. Good day. Happy New Year's. Happy all that stuff. And peace out, man. We'll talk to you guys later.